Okay, guys. Carl Jr. here. Welcome to the channel. Still haven't figured out a name yet. Still working on that one, but had to make a video over what happened this weekend. Um, so earlier in the week, you could clearly see Marjorie Taylor Greene, in particular, breaking from Donald Trump about the Epstein files. She disagrees with other things too, but after the years of just screaming about the Epstein files, they have to be released, campaign promises, and as soon as Trump gets in office, like, there's no files. I don't know what you're talking about. Even the staunchest Trump supporter is gonna be like, "What the hell is this?" Um, it's just the whole thing is just fascinating. But either way, it escalated on Friday going into Saturday. Um, Marjorie Taylor Greene was talking about how she's had death threats. She disagrees with Trump, and then Trump came out and said, "I'm not going to endorse you." Said all this stuff. Fox News did a nice little segment on this on Saturday, just talking about some of the initial messages. Let's just check in and see what they have to say real quick.
Here on Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Christina Evans. As promised, we're going to be getting into some of the latest headlines. This having to do with the Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene as she's sparring back and forth with President Trump on social media. We've been watching this here behind the scenes on Live Now from Fox, and we want to bring you some of those posts to continue to add context to this conversation. Putting this one up, this is the latest post that's gone out from the representative's page, really in just the last 2 hours or so. She says, quote, "I am now being contacted by private security firms with warnings for my safety as a hotbed of threats were made against me and are being fueled and egged on by the most powerful man."
Can you imagine that? This elected congressperson thinks that she has death threats being brought about her because of the rhetoric from the president of the United States, who, by the way, is the reason why she has a job and she loves him. She would marry him and give him some coitus right now if he called her up. No doubt about that.
In the world. The man I supported and helped to get elected, aggressive rhetoric attacking me has historically led to death threats and multiple convictions of men who were radicalized by the same type of rhetoric being directed at me right now. This time by the President of the United States. As a woman, I take threats from men seriously. Now I have a small understanding of the fear and pressure the women who are victims of Jeffrey Epstein and his cabal must feel. As a Republican who overwhelmingly votes for President Trump's bills and agendas, his aggression against me, which also fuels the venomous nature of his radical internet trolls, so many of whom are paid. This is nothing shocking to everyone. My phone is blowing up with constant, amazing support.
Who is paying these internet trolls? That's what I want to know. How do you get a job where you get paid to troll Marjorie Taylor Greene on the internet? Because I would do that job and I'd be the best damn troller that existed in that company. I could guarantee you.
I'm so thankful to the political industrial complex. He does go on to talk about the toxic nature of some of this happening behind
Hotbed of threats against me. Who says that? Nobody talks like that.
the scenes. It's a very, very long tweet as well, but she ends it off by saying that the political industrial complex and the toxic, violent nature of American politics must end. Our country is worth saving, and it can only be done if we pull together and save ourselves. That's, again, this is the latest tweet that we have from Marjorie Taylor Greene on calling for these hotbed of threats that have been made against her. But again, this is all stemmed from a back and forth conversation happening on social media. I want to put up the post that we also saw from President Trump this morning on his Truth Social site. He said this: lightweight Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, green grass turns brown when it begins to rot, betrayed the entire Republican Party when she turned left, performed poorly on The Pathetic View, and became the rhino that we all know she always was. Just a different fake politician.
Let's break this tweet down real quick. Okay. So, first of all, it's all capital. It's all in capital. Exclamation points, parentheses. It's just, this is how this guy writes. He's the president of the United States. This is retarded. It starts off with just name calling, essentially. Lightweight congressman, green grass turns brown, and then it rots. Betrayed the Republican Party. He's mad that she went on The View. Yeah, we can't be having both sides on The View, apparently. And now she's a rhino. And she always has been a rhino. Just she's a fake politician, and he, pumped her up with Rand Paul and Thomas Massey, who, they've gone against Trump a little bit, but in particular on this Epstein stuff, he's gone against him. But this just goes to show you can't go against Donald Trump on anything, or you're done in this Republican Party. Period. Full stop.
Politician, no different than Rand Paul Jr., which he has in parentheses Thomas Massey, and got caught being a full-fledged Republican in name only. Then again, referring to the term rhino, and said it make America great again. All of this exploding today on social media. And so to talk a lot more about what we see here, I want to bring into the conversation political analyst Brian Sobel. Brian, thanks so much for being with us here on Live Now from Fox. Really a lot to get into. I wanted to read those posts out in full from social media so that way everyone at home can continue to see the context around this conversation. But really, let's focus on what we're hearing from Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene and President Trump going back and forth. Where is this all stemming from?
Because in many ways, Christina, they're very much alike. They don't like slights. They don't take very well to people criticizing them.
Okay.
And from that perspective, if you just look at the length of the tweets, you could see that this is where they often air their grievances. Marjorie Taylor Greene, or now Marjorie Taylor Brown, according to the president, is the same woman who showed a lack of decorum on the floor of the House of Representatives during a...
What does that have to do with why this is happening? We all know the crap that Marjorie Taylor Greene has pulled, but what's the point of even pointing that out?
State of the Union by former President Joe Biden yelling out liar and things like that. She is a controversial figure, and it shouldn't surprise anybody, I think, that she eventually would end up in some problem with the President of the United States, and it happens here around these Epstein files.
And so again,
some problem with the United States. That's what you characterize him saying, that he's not going to support you anymore, that you're a rhino, and that you never were MAGA. It's Fox News, man. Like, it started out as a good report, and they put on this guy to give his crap opinion. That's a ridiculous opinion. He goes on to say that Marjorie Taylor Greene is just mad that Donald Trump won't answer his phone calls. Well, he won't answer your phone call because he's mad at you. That's why, and he's not going to. So, and that's just how he is. That's how he is as a president. And, this thing is just going to continue. We don't know where this is going to go. Like, what could happen is tomorrow, Marjorie Taylor Greene says, "I'm sorry, my bad." That's the most likely scenario. I would not be surprised if that's what happens. So it's Saturday when we first saw this thing start developing. We still have, a few more days to see how this develops. We got votes coming up. There'll be a lot of interesting stuff. I will keep you updated. See you later.